Talk about the journey, the spiritual journey that you've been on the last couple of years.
Well, it's been for a lifetime, but I don't think there's any question that in the time at Indiana, it was a great reawakening for me, especially with the way that we struggled early on when we took over the job in 2008. That there's no way to get through something like that without having your faith absolutely where it has to be, and you hope that you live it, you hope that people see it, and then you realize that you have even more of a responsibility on a day-to-day basis to help people with it. You know, and you want to live it and you want to be it for your team, but you also want the same people on the outside to be able to see it, because you realize that you can't go through it alone. You realize that whatever you're doing as a coach, whatever you're doing inside of your program, it's not even close to what you have to be able to do as a spouse, what you have to do as a parent, and what you have to do as a leader for your young men and that are entrusted to you. That it's so much more than in basketball. So that to me it's taught me so much about not internalizing negativity, not internalizing praise, just absolutely being clear-headed on what the job is, but also being extremely clear-headed on our mission to serve God in an even greater purpose.
Coming into Indiana, faced with the sanctions and then all the expectations of being at a school like Indiana, sure. I mean, you hit on the struggle a little bit, yeah. Just the internal struggle. How did God meet you right where you're at in that situation? Because I'd imagine that'd be very stressful.
Well, I think it's the way I was raised. I think it was the way I was raised going to church. You don't fall back from it, you know. Raise up a child in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it when they're old, you know, paraphrasing the Bible. And I'm so thankful every day that I was raised that way. And what you find out, and I think in answer to your question, most people are. Now, they may get away from it from time to time, and they may go off to college, or they may get distracted or detracted, or they may go a different way, but we have a responsibility to help them. And it not only by the way that we live, but how we encourage them to make them better. And I think that's where it was for me. The more you worry about how you feel as a coach, or how you feel about the struggles, then you lose sight of what's most important, which is the people around you. All right, not letting adversity knock you down, not letting struggles take you away, but also not letting success build you up into something that you get away from what it is. The Bible can put you on such a clear path that no matter the ups and the downs, you stay absolutely focused on what's most important. That's where it meets you. And I think it's a daily process, and it hits you different ways, but that's the bottom line. And then it's not like we don't make mistakes. It's not like we don't have regrets. It's not like we don't ask for forgiveness, but that you continue to do it with a clean, clear heart towards what you're trying to do for your family, what you're trying to do for your team, for your fans, but most importantly for the Lord.
Kind of last question here, because I know you got to get going, but you talk a lot about how not allowing negativity to settle in, and then sure. Also not allowing praise to really settle in. And is God's grace kind of, because that's such a solid identity, is that kind of intertwined with that as well? It's a solid thing for you to come back to when all these things are swirling around you?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where one of the greatest things that you can do is find that time. And we all convince ourselves we're busier than we really are. And what you learn, I don't remember what minister I heard this from, but praying is like breathing. You know, you can do it at any point in time. There's never a time that you can't ask for God's help. There's never a time that you can't try to pull yourself back into where it needs to be. And you know that, you know, in a situation when you're coaching basketball or any type of thing like that where it's going to be played out publicly, you're under that microscope, and you still make mistakes with it. But it helps the forgiveness of being able to say, okay, God, I know I made a mistake. Help me to be better next time. And it helps you as you help people along the way with forgiveness, and you move forward constantly in helping them understand that there's such a place that they can go. And if they follow the word of the Bible, if they follow their heart, if they follow the ability to pray and listen to God intently, that so many great things can happen for them. So that's what it is to me. I mean, it's just trying to live your life and knowing that none of us are different. And if I could impart on my own children or our players, there's numerous things you want to impart on them, but God created every one of us equal. And we have no right whatsoever to look above, to look down, to look beyond, to look through. Our job is to help wherever we can. No, I think it's great. It's been an honor to be, the Zeller family. It's been such an honor to be intertwined with that family through the recruiting process, then coaching Cody, and then watching the impact that they have. You get around an environment like this, and you realize that we all have platforms. Some of our platforms are maybe more public than the other, but there's not one of us that don't have a platform to help people. There's not one of us that don't have a platform to encourage and inspire and impact people. And it doesn't have anything to do with where you're from, who you are, what your academic background is, any of that. We can all help people be better. And that's what you really want to see the world become more like.